Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hi, I'm Mathematics. Today we have a really interesting question from math exam. We need to rate this to third to the power 2/3. So right now let's try to do this. First of all, we need to know a really interesting and important rule. When we have, for example, a to the power, when we have a to the power x over y, for example, when we have a fraction, we can easily write it in another way. We can easily write it in terms of like a root. But what power of root? Right here we have y, and right here we have a to the power x. Okay, here is the main rule we need to understand. When we have a to the power x over y, right here goes y, right here we still have x. For example, just look at this. Just look at this example. For example, we have a to the power 2/3. Like 2/3. Let's try to do this with 2/3. This 3 is the power of our root, so we are talking about a third root, okay? And right here we have a square. So this is the main and important rule. I hope you understand this general case. I hope you understand this example. So right now just keep in mind that this 2/3 is our a. So we're talking about it's like a fraction. So we're talking about a fraction instead of this our root. Right now let's try to solve our question. So we have 2/3 to the power 2/3. Okay, we are talking about, as I told before, we are talking about a to the power. Right here we have 3, right here 2, so we are talking about 2/3. But what? But third root, because we are talking about the third root of 2/3 to the power 2. So here's our expression after this step. So right now let's try to simplify this a little bit. So what do we have right here? Cubes root of. When we have this type of expression, when we have a over b to the power x, we need to raise our numerator to the power 2 and our denominator to the power 2. As a result, we will have the next thing. We will have 2 square in our numerator, and we will have like 3 square in our denominator. Okay, equal to we have cubes root of 4 over 9. 4 over 9. Okay, 4 over 9. And right now, a lot of students leave this expression like that. They say that this is cubes root of 4 over 9. But I'm going to show you a really great trick. We can easily multiply this expression. So let's continue. Let's multiply this expression. So we have cubes root of 4 over 9. We can easily split this. First of all, we can easily split it as cubes root of 4 over cubes root of 9. Okay, we can easily write it this like that, because this is like the we have this identity, we have this property in terms of roots. Yeah, so we can write it like that. And right now a lot of students forget about it, but we can easily multiply this numerator and denominator. Let's multiply it by cubes root of 9 square, and we need to multiply our denominator by cubes root of 9 square. This is a really great tricky moment right now, because when we multiply this expression in our denominator, we will have the next thing. We will have, let's leave it like that, our numerator. So we have cubes root of 4 times cubes root of 9 square. This is our numerator, but in our denominator we will have one really interesting moment. We will have cubes root of 9 to the power 1 times 9 to the power 2. So we're talking about 9 to the power 3. 1 plus 2 equal to 3. So we are talking about cubes root of 9 to the power 3. All right, and this we can easily cancel. So as a result, we can easily write this one as 9. So in our denominator we will have only our 9. Let's write our numerator at first. So we have cubes root of 4 times cubes root of 9 square, and we divide it by, we can easily cancel this cubes root with this 3, so we have only our 9. So I hope you understand this step. So right now we have this type of expression. 9 square equal to 81. So let's continue simplifying. So we have cubes root of 4 times cubes root of, we have 9 square equal to 81. Okay, so we have 81, and we divide it by 9. Okay, so cubes root of 81 we can't find. This is not a table case. But when we write this 81 as 27 times 3, so we can write it as cubes root of 4 times cubes root of 27 times 3. We can easily split this cubes root, and we can write it as, just look at it. So we have cubes root of 4 times cubes root of 27, and times cubes root of 3. And we divide all the thing by 9. Really great. So as a result, cubes root of 27 equal to 3. So we have 3 in the beginning, and right here we have cubes root of 4. So cubes root of 4 times cubes root of 3 times cubes root cubes root of 3, and we divide it by 9. But one really interesting moment, this 3 we can easily cancel with this 9, so as a result we have 3 in our denominator. So let's do this. So we have cubes root of 4 times cubes root of 3, and we divide it by 3. And the final tricky move, we can easily multiply this 4 times 3 because we have absolutely the same power of root. So we have cubes root, so we can easily write it as cubes root of 4 times 3. So let's do this right now. So we have cubes root of 4 times 3 equal to 12 over 3. And this is our answer to this question. So 2/3 to the power 2/3 equal to cubes root of 12 over 3. And this is my solution. Step by step, I hope you understand it. You can easily pause the video and try to solve this question once more. This is not that hard, to be honest, because this is basic thing. We just rewrite it in terms of fraction. We just write it in terms of root. So first of all, cubes root, then step by step, simplifying, splitting our roots. Like this is very tricky moment. We just do this because of this denominator. We don't need this cubes root in our denominator, so we multiplied both sides by this expression, by this very tricky expression. And I really hope you understand it. And finally, I'm going to show you one more example. Maybe you don't understand it. This is the easier one. I'm going to show you the easier example. So just look at it. For example, we need to simplify this. We have 5/2 to the power 5/2. So something like that. This is like for better understanding. Maybe you don't know, maybe you still have a question about this example. This is once more just like for better understanding. Maybe you want to see this explanation. So first of all, as I told before, we're gonna rewrite it in terms of root. Right here we have second root because we have a 2 in our denominator. So this is our second, this is our square root of 5/2 to the power 5. All right, so I really hope you understand this step, because we are talking about square root. Yeah, we are talking about square root. So right now we have square root of 5 to the power 5. Okay, 5 to the power 5 over 2 to the power 5. So we just simplify this a little bit after this step. When we go from our fraction way to our square root way, we are talking about simple like math properties, simple math steps. So we have square root of 5 to the power 5. We have 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 and times 5, and we are talking about denominator 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And how can we find this? How can we find this square root of this expression? So first of all, right here we have 5 square, and right here we have 5 square. So actually we have 5 square. Square root of 5 square equal to 5. With this 5 square, we have also 5 when we take square root, and we still have 1 square root of 5, so we can't find it. So we have 5 times 5 square root of 5. And in our denominator, we have absolutely the same thing. We have 2 times 2 and times square root of 2. So as a result, we have 25 square root of 5 over 4 square root of 2. 4 square root of 2. Right now, let's multiply both sides, numerator and denominator, by square root of 2. We need to remove this irrationality in our denominator. So as a result, what do we have? We have 25 times square root of 5 times square root of 2. We divide it by 4 times square root of 2 times square root of 2. Right here we have 2. So as a result, we have 8 in our denominator. We have 8, and in our numerator we have 25 times square root of 10. So this is 2 examples. This one is easier one than this one, because this one we have cubes root, which turns into a big difficulties for us, because we have to multiply it by this expression. So as you can see, this is a great expression to practice your this type of questions. And of course, if you are a beginner in terms of math, you can easily start with this one. You can easily pause the video and try to solve this type of expression. It's not that hard, to be honest, because a lot of students are confused because this type of expression, when we have 5/2, they don't know what can we do this, but this is like a fraction, doesn't matter. This is like a fraction, so you can easily work with fraction, but first of all, this is the main thing, just to go from this step to this step. When you work with the square root, with cubes root, it's much easier. Okay, so I really hope you understand this part. And this one also a great challenge for us. As you can see, we works with the cubes root. This one in the beginning we had a square root. This one with the cubes root. So it's also really great question for practice, to practice this step after going from a fraction power to square root to cubes root. Doesn't matter, we don't know. We can easily have the fourth root, so it depends on the question. Okay, so thank you for your time. I really hope you understand it. Also write your question down into the comment section. It will be really interesting to exchange information. It will be really interesting to speak a little bit about this type of question. Write your question. Maybe you have something on your exam, you have something on your entrance examination. It will be really interesting to read your type of question down into the comment section. Also write your thoughts, write your notes about this question. It will be really interesting to exchange information. And thank you everyone for your time. Also write your approach. It will be really interesting to see your approach, how you solve this type of question. It's also really great. So this is for like advanced student. If you want to practice it, you can easily solve this type of question. And I also write this easier one for practicing this type of question as well. So thank you everyone for your time. Wish you all the best. See you in the next videos and have a great day.